What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Talking at Ish and Skeen podcast. Yeah, it's a little something different. We taking a, we taking the internet, full service of the internet right now. Thanks to Riverside Partners, I guess. Some type of unity they have with Spotify. Is that the word? Unity? No, I don't think so.
No,
What's the
partnership.
partnership? Thank you. See, I'm stupid.
Not
Thesaurus time.
stupid, just didn't know or didn't use the right word. Okay.
No, I did. So we're trying this. We're actually going to put it on audio, and then we're going to try video finally. So trying to get used to this one over here, so we can do this, through video as well whenever possible. But yeah, we're back in the building in the safe space we call.
Treetop Studios.
That's right. Yep. Treetop Studios here in Skeens, over there at Isha's. But we here though. So we're super excited to be right back together. For this session. It's going to be something weird. So if you see me constantly fidgeting or fixing her hair,
Exactly.
so something that we got to get used to. So Ish, how you been, man?
I've been good. How are you?
Yeah, I got to do that to keep it sort of professional. But yeah, I've been great. I've been great. We've been kicking it. We kicked it. Me and Ish kicked it for a soccer game this weekend. It was absolutely truly fun to spend time with that one. Did they really win?
Yes, they did.
They almost blew it, but no, they won. So you're absolutely right. So yeah, so shout out to the Red Bulls too. So that whole experience was pretty good. So Ish, we're ready. Let's kick it off. Do your thing. What is the topic, my friend?
So I don't even know what to call this topic, but it's something that came about in discussion with one of my friends. I think in my circle of friends, I noticed certain behaviors that just throw me off. And in my mind, I like to call it fake or, just general fake behavior.
Okay.
So just, analyzing these different behaviors and how certain people interact with others, how people, have certain characteristic traits that are just odd or different than others. And sometimes it's like not acceptable behavior, but they're not called out on it. And now, when I say they're not called out on it, I would like to put emphasis on that because I feel like they're not called out on it by their boys. But from a female perspective, the females always tend to speak their mind and let you know, like, hey, what's up? Like, why are you acting like that? Or why are you doing this? But when it comes to the guy to guy, I notice that nobody says anything to each other. And I have the perfect example I'm going to use because this person has affiliations with a lot of different people in my circle and a lot of different experiences that have come out of that.
Right. So you're ready. So you're ready to throw shots, fire.
No, I'm not even throwing shots or fire, but I'm just saying, like, this individual has they just behave in such a way that it throws me the fuck off, excuse my language, but I'm just going to dive into it and I'm just going to go head into this. Okay. At any point, if you want to stop me or throw your opinion in there, please do.
Nah, God, I'm like super excited to hear about this because it's just, well, I'll get to that, but I want to hear your story. But God, do you think?
I'm excited to hear your perspective on it because from my perspective, the guys that are involved in this situation, the way they don't, call this person out on their behavior really throws me off and it just sets me back so much. And when I had conversations with some of these guys, they're like, "Oh, guys, we just brush things under the rug," kind of thing. And I'm like, you can't just brush everything under a rug. If someone is acting funny, they need to be told that they're acting funny, or else they're not going to correct their ways, and they're going to continue thinking that they're just getting over on people. I don't care if you're my friend or you're not my friend. Somebody has to call you out on it. And for me, I think if you are my real friend, then you're going to tell me about myself, and what I'm doing is weird or fucked
Right.
up.
Right.
So
And I don't know. I just think, like, for example, I'll give you both perspectives as well as a young man, and
mhm.
now at my age now. But a lot of the times it's just, you just brush it off, right? Unless it gets to the level, unless it gets to the level of disrespect, and then that's something different. But if you're going to give me an example of disrespect, then obviously you're going to get a different point of view and a different reaction. That being said, right? But yeah, no, but I'm excited, so I don't want to, bah, 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 bah. I just want to hear what your story is about.
Okay, so the example I'm going to use is about an individual who, um, you know, does a certain profession in the art industry, I guess we could say. And they were selling tickets for us to go to like their show, showcasing their next project. And it was canceled X amount of times and rescheduled. Okay, fine. Um, so I reached out to my friends and I'm like, hey, you want to go? Let's get tickets and support. Why not? They did. None of these people got their money back. And this is not the first time that this individual does something like this. So, you know, the girls, my female friends, had reached out multiple times asking for their money back. And it's not like, they needed that money because it was petty money. It did add up though, in X amount. Like if you, it was, I think like 40 tickets or something like that. So that money adds up. That wasn't the point. Not that they wanted the money back. The point was the principle that you're going to continue, quote unquote, scamming people and taking their money, not giving it back, but coming up with a million excuses as to why they're not getting it back
Right.
and getting nasty with each other, which is unnecessary. Although, the females were trying to prove a point, and this individual, like, I don't know, didn't like that, took it as disrespect, which I can understand. Like some parts of it, okay, got a little nasty, got a little disrespectful. But when you're going to do this time and time again to people, it's, it becomes unfair, and you're kind of just like taking people's money that are a part of your circle or close to you, or even not close to you, and literally just trying to support you in what you're doing. It's
Right.
wrong. And, speaking to some of the males, that are a part of this circle, I know that this is not the first time that this has happened with this individual. Before I came along, like it's happened, in the past with them. And they don't say anything about it. They just take it. And that's what drives me crazy. I'm like, if your friend is acting funny, or if your friend is doing something weird, or even, playing you for your money, and you're being mad supportive, why are you on their dick still supporting them, knowing that they act funny with you? That's what
Right.
drives me crazy, because there's no way I'm going to continue supporting you if you're going to treat me foul. Or, and it's not just one time, it's time and time again kind of thing.
Right. Which is kind of weird, right? Because I mean, if you do it once, maybe twice, you get away with it, but the third time is like, I'm like, guy, like, what the hell is going on? You know what I mean? So, but my question to you is obviously you're not associated with this individual anymore, right?
No.
But are some of your friends still?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's what confuses me, is why is the support still heavily there? And when I
well,
say yes, I'm talking specifically about the male friends, not the female friends. They don't have any association because all my bitches open their mouths. But that's what I
right.
don't understand, that the guys just don't speak up on anything, but they'll be in the comments like, oh yeah, like good shit, or, just gaslighting shit. And it's like, why are you doing that? And that's just one example. And the male friends I'm talking about that do that amongst each other too. Like
That's
if one is acting funny or has a certain like weird behavior that they tend to exude all the time, the guys will, they'll feel a way about it, but they don't say anything to each other.
mm,
And
that's
that's why I'm like, I don't like being around this kind of energy, because I know
right.
I'm a big man. I'm going to say it to your face kind of thing,
Yeah, that's kind of weird to me because, like, for example, now it's going to make it a little harder for me because when I was younger, like, nah, man, like if I saw fraudulent activity, you know what I mean? Stuff that I was just like, yo, I'm not agreeing with this. Like, this is ass, you know what I mean? And if that individual was ass, that individual gets told, yo, fam, like, I don't really fuck with you like that. right?
Exactly.
And some feelings could get hurt, like, man, fuck you, you ain't shit. I ain't shit. I'm gonna go this way anyway. You know what I mean? So that's kind of tough for me because I've cut off people like bam, like done. Peace, we
Yeah.
out. Right?
It's weird. Like I told you in past conversation, like my best friend. I told you that I told her she's my best friend. And if we're going to continue being best friends for the rest of our lives, then she's going to hear my mouth when she does something that I'm not into, vice versa. Like, I would hope that she tells me about myself if I'm doing something stupid and not thinking things through, or if I'm acting funny. Like, as my friend or as my best friend, I would want you to come to me and be like, yo, Ish, why are you doing that? Or, think before you speak, or whatever it is, I want you to come to me. And
Right.
yeah,
So
okay.
no, I didn't mean to cut you off, sorry, but I was just thinking like in some aspects, yeah, the relationship is real close between two dudes.
Hmm.
And I think that communication is going to be a little bit easier. Like, yo, fam, I don't fuck with you. Just the same way, like with you and your best friend, right? Like, listen, man, I don't like what you're doing. What you're doing is kind of ass, so on and so forth. So it'll be easier, right? If this person is, I guess, more of an acquaintance than it is a friend,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? It's depending on where the guy holds that guy. Now, there's a sucker all
Which
the
they're
time. There's
not.
always going to, right? That also, they're not, are they good
No,
friends or?
they're all good friends. And, for me, it's like, okay, maybe I'm
Damn.
not there for every interaction and I don't know what they talk about all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But, from general conversations, I know that there are certain things that, aren't communicated to one another. And yeah, okay, I could say like sometimes I refrain from saying things because maybe I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. But there are other, things that people do or say that can be told to them and it's
Right.
not, which is weird to me. So I think for me, what I'm stuck on is the male perspective. Why you could say, oh, it's easier just to brush things under the rug and keep it moving for the sake of the friendship or whatever. But like I said, if you're my friend, I want you to tell me about myself.
Right.
If I look crazy, I want you to tell me I look crazy. If I'm doing
Right.
something dumb, tell me.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's going to be tough for me to put in my 2 cents. But the only thing I can probably say is just like, the attitude of a guy as he gets older. Like in my case right now, is like you could say something off the wall. If that shit don't affect me, my family,
Hmm.
the people that I hold dear in my heart, or making me no money, I don't really give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I really don't give a fuck. Like, like the example, I mean, we touched upon this when we were at the game
Hmm.
and stuff, and I told you about a certain situation and they got handled, you know what I mean? And then I don't just don't fuck with you. Like I
Yeah.
might, there might be some words of, hey, how you doing? Cordial stuff. But to be like, oh, nah, we gonna go hang out. Like, nah, that's the thing. And then some guys just might look at it and say, you know what, man? I know this dude right here, my man Timmy's off the wall. He's reckless with his, you know what I mean? And that's, some people just brush it off as, yo, that's Timmy. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And that's what Timmy's gonna do. But sometimes too, it's just guys sometimes don't wanna, yeah, fuck it. That, I mean, if you got suckered once or twice when it comes to money or duped or something like that, that's something different. I think that's totally something different. And you might have something that, he might have over you and has that control, or you're just straight pussy. To be honest, there's a sucker, there's a sucker for everything, right? And some people do that, man. Like they know they're whack, but they still hang out with them. And it's something internal for them. Like for me, it's just like, I ain't fucking with you. That's
Hmm.
pretty much it. And I've cut people off like, yo, why we don't hang no more? And sometimes I try to be, like I say, brush it off and be like, nah, fam, I just ain't got no time. But if
Hmm.
sometimes be like, yo, B, you've been ducking me or whatever. And I'd be like, yo, you know what? Because of XYZ. Oh, word,
Yeah.
that's how you feel? And that's how I feel. And then I just, keep dozing on down the road. But I don't know. That's kind of weird. If they've been together for, let's say, over 10 years or whatever, and they're used to that, that behavior that Timmy might have. I just named him
It
Timmy.
doesn't make sense to me at all. Like, I don't know. And I
It's
guess
weird.
for me, I want to understand, like, is it a male thing? Like, okay, yeah, maybe it's easier brushing things under a rug, but don't you want the person to better themselves? Like, I'm not just gonna sit here if my girl is doing something dumb, over and over and over again and be like, that's just how she is. No, that's not how she should be. That's not regular, you know?
Right. So, like for example, if that person continued to do dumb shit,
Hmm.
you bounce, correct?
Exactly.
Right. So, and that's the point. Is just you know don't know what the dichotomy is between like those individuals and that Timmy guy. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know. So to each
Hmm.
his own is going to be hard. I mean, like I said, I know a lot of guys brush stuff off and it just let it be because it doesn't affect them in a certain way. But that's more in not in a friend. What was the other word I used? It wasn't
Acquaintance.
like a acquaintance. Yeah, thank you. So it's more easier to do that, right? Like you'll be some out, you know what I mean? You're trash, but it could be something like we all have those friends. I guess we used to like I used to like that they're just loud mouth and everything, and they're just gonna be obnoxious and always blah blah blah. So you kind of know and expect that. So I guess
Hmm.
maybe they already expect that from this individual. Now, like you said, the money issue is something different. Like, yo, fam, I don't care if it's $5,
Yeah,
$10. If I
that's
paid you for right? If I paid you for a service, I expect that service to be done or something. So
yes,
that's kind of
that's
hard. Yeah, that's kind of hard because I'm trying to think of, in what way, shape, or form would a guy let another dude treat him like that without saying something?
hmm
Because a lot of the times they'll just be like, "Peace, I'm out," and I'm out of the situation, and then I don't go back. But in this case, they keep going back and keep going back and keep going back. So how long they been friends for?
it varies. It's all different. All
Hmm,
different and nothing that I know quickly. I don't know. We'll say 5+ amongst them all.
5+. Wow.
Else, yes, friends. It
Right.
varies. Not all the same. But like that one specific example is definitely larger scale, and anything else is more minute. There's not really anything specific. It's nothing like, oh, trashy behavior or anything like that. It's just like certain things that are weird that people aren't being called out on. And it's like, why not?
Give me another example. I'm trying to I'm really trying to fish for it to try to give you a more solid type of answer. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because even though I'm not going to give you the one that's just going to be like, oh yeah, you nailed it on the head. But I just want to have a little bit more. I don't know.
I got one for you. And this actually pertains to one of my friends who I know he was listening to our podcast at the beginning. I don't know if he still is. So once I say this example, he's going to know exactly that this is about him. So is your mic still on?
Yeah, my mic is
Oh,
still on. I just took it off because I know once I start cracking up, like the audio comes to me. That's why. But go ahead.
so this one friend, I'm talking about you. If you're listening. No shots. So this one friend, anytime he gets invited, and he could argue to the death of me and say that no, it's not true. But anytime he's invited somewhere, he'll act like he's gonna show up and doesn't show up. Almost, I want to say like 99% of the time. But then when he invites, it's like, Ish, where you at? And he knows this because I've called him out on it times before. Even my mom has called him out on it. And it's yeah, and that's why it's not trashy behavior like dumb shit. But my new like that, when you do stuff like that extensively, people are going to get tired of it and people are not going to want to be around that kind of energy or around that kind of behavior, whether it's something like that or whether you do something trying to think of another example. I don't know if that helped you in
No,
understanding where I'm coming from any better than the first example, but this is definitely a good second example in my opinion.
right now,
Because
no, no.
people, I feel like a lot of people do that often, and okay, you could say, oh, you're a flake or you didn't feel like coming anymore or whatever the excuse is, but people catch on to, the way you behave and people are going to retract from that. Like you can't expect anyone to want to stick around after they catch on to how you behave consistently.
Right now, you're absolutely right. I mean, that one. that one is a little better because I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So basically, in a nutshell, and yo, my dude, whoever you are, don't come after me. This is just a thought, an idea. You know what I mean? No
I'm
shots fired.
talking about you.
So check it out, though. But no, it could be something as simple as, you got to speak your mind here. But it could be simple as your event is not that important to me, but when I have an event, it's important to me, right? Everything revolves around my event. Every other event to him is just like, if I show, I show.
But that's
Eh,
what I
right?
understand. What is it? Because there's no way that it's just, oh, I couldn't make it. No, you're full of excuses, sir.
Right.
You're full of shit, and I know it.
Right. But
And I understand, like, what is it? Why do people think it's okay to do this, that, and a third consistently? And I don't know if it's like the thought of, oh, people won't catch on, or oh, it doesn't matter, but it really does matter at the end of the day.
it does. But as us, right? As you, like, let's say, for example, you invite this individual and all right, cool. All right, he flaked on me last time or however times ago. Technically, it's still up to you to be like, yo, man, it's a wrap, man. There's no more. There's no more invites. There's no more this. And then you'll see that person will probably be like, oh shit, why she invite me to this shit? Or why she not all of a sudden it gives it. Now it could be two ways. They can be like, okay, I'm gonna make it important and be like, yo, my bad, this, that, or the other. Or it's just gonna be like, well, I ain't care anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
pretty much people's behavior, obviously sometimes we tolerate it because in some way, shape, or form, we still want them to be involved in our lives a little bit, if that makes sense. But technically, it's just like a relationship, right? You go out with somebody, and one day you wake up like, yo, fam, this ain't working for me no more. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, you kick him or her out the door. But primarily, no matter whose behavior it is, positive or negative, is up to us to see if we're gonna receive that or reject that. So
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, Ish is it we're at fault too for allowing that behavior to affect our lives. You know what I'm
And
saying? So
that's my point.
mhm.
You cannot, witness your friend feel a certain way and then go back and complain about their behavior. But then the next day you're going to continue to accept that because it's not, acceptable. It's not okay. Like it's going to affect the friendship one way or another. And whether that person realizes it or not, it's something that needs to be worked on. Um, and like, okay, I guess I'll go back to that second example. Like, if you don't want to pull up, that's fine. But I'm trying to like, I'm trying to make it make sense.
No, it absolutely makes sense. You don't have to make sense about it. But my whole thing is, it's those behaviors that we allow, and then we put so much thought into it. Like, yo, why is Skate not coming to where I'm showing him? You know what I mean? I'm
Hmm.
inviting him. He's not showing up. Like, what's up? Now, I've been invited to so many things. Now, my friends know me, so I'll take that for example, right? I like some of my friends, like even my best friend has invited me, like, hey, my daughter's having a birthday party, and I don't show up.
Hmm.
But I never say I'm going.
Yeah.
So they get surprised when like if you were to ask me and I tell you, yeah, Ish, I'm gonna be there. I give you my word. Now I'm there. Even if I
See,
don't like it or not, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if you send me an invite and never reply, then I'm good. But if you invite me and be like, yo, Skeen, I need you to come here, boom, I'm there. I'm good. I just gave you my word. So back to behaviors, right? If I'm a type of dude that if I give you my word, it's gonna happen. Right? Like
see
once of the
of
okay.
that. I did that literally last year where I said, okay, I'm pulling up, and I ended up not pulling up. I flaked, but my girl asked, and that's okay. I knew she would, but that's the kind of relationship I want. I don't want people to just like take the way I behave and brush it under a rug. No, tell me about myself. I want to know, how I'm acting and how I can correct my behavior. And I want to know if I'm wrong. I want to know if I'm right. I
You know,
don't
back
want to take it and keep going.
back to your point though, like before when I used to invite people and people used to flake on me, I used to be like, yo, what happened? Like I used to look for those, I guess their excuses or their reasoning or whatever.
Hmm.
Now it's like, for example, if I invite you and you say no, all right, I invited you once. I'll invite you a second time, but never a third time. That's the
Hmm.
way I operate now. It's one, two, and it's not, strike one, strike two, strike three. It doesn't, that doesn't have no no input in my decision. It's just if I did it once, cool. I'm showing you that, yo, I'm interested in your company. Two, just reminding you that I'm interested in your company. Third, nah, fuck your company. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it
Mhm.
is when it comes to me. So like, you know what I mean? I guess it just, as you get older as well, you just realize my
I think
network is just real small, you know?
that's got to be it too. I feel like as I get older, I sit back, and I said this before, but I'll sit back and just analyze the way people behave, the way I behave, certain things I do, what others do, and how they differ from one another. And it's like as I get older, like I can't take it, these certain things, I can't handle it anymore. Like I don't need that. It takes away from my peace. Maybe it's silly to some people, but it's really important because that shit does add up to, you know, your relationship and the significance of it with one another. All of that. It adds up whether you see it or not.
And and you know what's funny about that too, man. And every episode that we talked about, it comes down to us, right? What we allow to
Hmm.
come through our eyes, our ears, right? Our what we communicate, we
Yeah.
allow. So I'm allowing you in my space right now, right? If I didn't want to, I would just hit stop and peace and I'm out, right? But it's whatever we allow. So sometimes we put all those that negative energy into ourselves because we're wanting this person to change in their patterns that have
Hmm.
already they've shown you this is my pattern of behavior and I'm not changing it because it's
Hmm.
been like in some of your friends' cases, those guys with Timmy over there, it's been 5 years roughly, and they still allow that. So that just tells me you
Well,
take
like,
five
but not
and
even
you
that, but not 5 years. Like, I'll use 5 years as like an example. Some
mhm,
people, childhood friends who have been around each
right,
other for X amount of time, and some of them are realer with each other than others.
right,
But also, like I said before, I'm not around for every single conversation, but I know that certain things aren't brought up to one another because, of discussions and just realizations amongst each other. You sit back and you people watch, right?
mhm,
And I'm sitting here and I could be looking at a couple across the room and how they interact with one another. And you learn so much about those two individuals just based off of their body language.
right.
And that's like the same thing, with friendships or any relationship. You sit back and watch people and how they act with each other, watch their body language, and it's a tell all. There's
Yep.
so much definition, behind sitting there and watching people.
Yeah, no, people watching is amazing because you like in a network of guys, you'll see who's the closest to each other as
Hmm.
well as who's not. So even though they're considered themselves friends because they've been more than 5 years or whatever the case is, that connection is not there. And I think our boy had mentioned that in episode where we do episode 3 with him.
Oh, Wes?
Jesus. Yes, Wes. Damn, my
Uh,
bad, Wes. Yeah, he had mentioned that, right? There's some people that you go to for certain problems, and there's other people that you don't for other problems,
mhm.
right? And that comes into play. So just because there's a network of a couple of guys there doesn't mean that they're close. They just for some reason A or B they just like each other's company for now. But as
Mhm.
you get older, you start realizing, man, we're not on the same page anymore, my brother. Maybe when we were in our 20s, now we're in our 30s, and it's time for me to go the other way. And that's what it is. But for the most part, as you get older and older and older and wiser and wiser and wiser, there's some people that just don't get wise; they just get old. And hopefully, you're feeding yourself good stuff to open those avenues up of communication and understanding that you just say, nah, man, I don't need that. I'm gonna go this way with it and stuff. So yeah.
I feel like it also comes down to the ability to accept that feedback and criticism.
Hmm.
Because, if I come to you and I'm like, Oscar, why are you acting funny? You could take it one or two ways. Either, you get pissed and you're like, fuck you, Ish. Who are you to tell me? Or you could be like, thanks, Ish. Like, I appreciate you opening my eyes to this.
Right.
And I feel like maybe that's the fear in men, the fear of losing that friendship. But at the end of the day, if that person's going to respond to you in that way when it's something significant that's going to affect the two of you, then that's not your friend.
Right.
And you don't need them in your life. And I think, that's something that a lot of people need to start to realize before it's too late and there's actual weight on the friendship.
Yeah, hopefully it never gets to that point. And sometimes it does when there's, when it comes to money, a lot of times, like you said in the past, even though it was tickets and the money was minimal, but it adds to 40, multiply it, let's say by 20, and you see, you know what I mean? You're talking
Mm-hmm.
about like 800 islands, you know what I'm saying? But that being said, yeah, no, it could be as small as, yo, you remember? So in that case, it could be something that down the road, they'd be like, yo, remember when I bought those fucking tickets from you and you blah, 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 blah. And then the
Mm-hmm.
rest is history. And then there's, just
That's the
adding
thing.
to that. But
Nobody's ever going to say anything about that. And that's what drives me crazy. Like,
all right,
why
man. So let me,
are you still gassing this individual? Why are you still friends with this individual knowing that they take
Mhm.
advantage, you know? And it's crazy to me.
It definitely is, man. It's something that, yeah, it's puzzling because I'm trying to think and I just can't make a connection with me. It's just the minute you get me once, maybe twice, but never a third time. And you know what I mean? That type of thing. So, yeah, man, we reached the almost halfway point here. We're doing good. The connection we're getting used to. Hopefully, I didn't cut you off, but we're gonna go to commercial break, and we'll be right back. What's up, guys? It's your boy Skane here, back to let you know and remind you that my co-host Aisha has an amazing poetry book called Treetop Echoes. It is available now on Amazon as well as Barnes and Nobles. So if you're in the market for a new book, please pick it up. You will not be disappointed in this amazing poetry book. So the name of the book, once again, Treetop Echoes, available on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. Get your copy today. Talking That Ish and Skeen podcast is now available on iHeartRadio and Apple Podcast. Say word, Skeen. Word to Big Bird. So now our show, me and Ish, you know how we doing it. Talking That Ish and Skeen podcast is now available on Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. No excuse. You can't miss us. We there, we everywhere. Say word, Skeen. Word to Big Bird. So we'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys. Peace. Building, I had to take off the headphones because my boy was getting hot. You ever notice like earphones just get you hot? That like synthetic leather or leather just be like bothering your things and stuff.
They
Just
do that in the gym. I put them like right on top of my glasses because and on
yo.
my hair, but that
True.
sweats now.
All right, guys. So we're back. Talking about fake friends and all that. No, it's not fake friends. We got to find a topic for this. What is it? A title for this episode.
Topic.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's what it is. I'm here all bugging out, kind of getting
Brand.
used to this video stuff. Feel like I'm in an interview. Like, yo,
I know
oh, you
I'm
know
looking
what
at. I
you know
know.
what this reminds me of? When everybody was on lockdown. Did you ever download House Party?
Yes. Wait, the one with
Yo,
like games and stuff.
yeah. So it'd be like 10 of your friends or something like that.
Yeah,
I
my
remember.
friend.
Shout out to the Snipes people because we all used to get on. It was like 6, 7, 8 of us, and that's how we stay connected. So shout out to House Party. You know what I
That's
mean?
it.
That's how this feels. So yeah, let's get back to that topic. Um, what direction you want to take it in now, Ish?
So I think I'm like at examples, kind of. I would say that first one was my primary example because it's so significant. Like, how do you let somebody play you and all of your friends, you know, not once, but twice, and who knows how many other times? Don't know. Second one I felt like was a really good example because I feel like people do that often, and you have to let your friends know that shit like that is not acceptable, especially when you do it time and time again. Like, that's not okay.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Like in the past, I'm gonna say 5 years. Let's keep it at five. Five is good. Five is always a good. In the last 5 years, how many friends you think you had to say goodbye to?
I'll be honest, maybe just that one.
Word?
Yeah, I don't really think I've said bye to anybody.
Hey, you normally don't say bye. You just
Well,
stop
I'm saying
communicating.
I've like lost, any friends.
Right. Which is good, right? In a way.
You know, and not definitely not like in that perspective. Like my best friend, you know, I'm gonna tell her about herself regardless. My
Right.
boys, I feel a way, like I'm gonna let you know how I feel. There are some things like they said, you know, you brush under the rug because it's just petty and silly.
Hmm.
But you're doing something over and over, I'm gonna tell you about yourself. And I think people know like that's my character and how I am.
Right.
So it's something, you know, that certain people are accustomed to.
Do you think like in your circle you have at least one male type of ish in your circle, or
Um,
or not?
I don't know.
Because it's usually like in a circle of guys and girls, there's always two people that kind of link up because they also have that same mannerisms and style, I guess you can say.
I don't know. Nobody really comes to mind that I could think of
Right. No,
that
that's
would just be straight, you know, like I don't know. I don't know. I really can't think of it. I would say my girls, yes, 100%.
right.
My even come out crazier than me. I'm more of like a subtle and let you know how I feel kind of person, but my
Right.
girls swinging. They don't.
Come on, man. If they in their 30s, they a little too old for that, man. All that swinging shit. That was back in the days, you know what I
Not
mean?
literally swinging, but you know what I mean. Like,
Right, right, right. Yeah, that's what I'm
tell
saying.
you
They still,
good.
oh God, chill. You know what I mean? No, it's just weird. I'm just trying to understand, like I said, and give perspective because it's just like, being played by. I mean, everybody's been played by someone, in life. That's automatic, unfortunately. But
I've
some
been
people.
played plenty of it. When I was younger, I was not vocal. I was very shy and reserved, and you could step all over me up and down. But
Mhm.
as I'm older, I'm kind of like throwing my hands in the air, like, fuck this, I'm not dealing with you. And if you don't like it, you can go ahead.
Right. I'm usually a quiet exit.
Hmm.
Just all of a sudden, peace, and then you never saw me leave. Like, yo, what happened to Skane? Nah, he went that way and never came back. But I guess so. And in some cases, I have been super vocal. Like, nah, man, fuck you. I guess it was to the
It
level
doesn't
of disrespect. You
be
know.
crazy. I can understand, okay, if you're in a disrespectful situation, yes, you come
Right.
out to somebody. But if you're doing some just dumb shit or, you know, if you're acting weird, it doesn't have to be all, you know, wild and cursing each other out. Just let me know what's up. That's all.
Right. For sure. For sure. For sure about that. But no, it's just like I'm just trying to think, man. Damn. Like I've never let somebody just continuously. I don't know if you. I guess you want to use the word play. You want
I,
continuous play me.
I can't say play. I would say play maybe in like the first example. Yeah,
Hmm.
that word aligns. But for everything else under that umbrella, I wouldn't say playing. I think it's more getting away with like, I don't know, like just certain behaviors. I don't know how to define it honestly. And I think you asking me, is there any male in my circle that I could say is similar? I don't think I can say yes because that's the whole objective here. I'm trying to understand if this is a male specific situation,
Right.
knowing that my girls aren't like that. But
No, I just think it's just in the circle of guys, and I don't want to speak for him. I'm just trying to put a put something on it, right? But I'm
Mhm.
just thinking, maybe there's not a guy there that's going to be vocal about another friend, acting in a certain kind of fishy way, or not fishy, just not in a nice way or correct way or whatever the case is. Maybe there isn't. Because like I mean, I'm saying in my past circles when we were tight, like I think I told you there was five of us. We were super tight,
Mhm.
and we would always talk like, "Yo, you wailing, like you bugging, like that shit was out of character." You know what I mean? That type of
Yeah.
stuff. And then sometimes it would be me. Like I remember my man Johnny Trash. You know what I mean? His nickname was Cash, but I used to call him Trash. But I sometimes Trash would come up to me and be like, "Yo, man, oh, you was out, you was out of line on that one." Like,
Mhm.
word. And then I would be like, "Word, was it?" Or sometimes it would be me
Mhm.
asking them, like, "Yo, Ed, like, I was out of line on that one," and then they were like, "Yeah, dog, like, you really went above and beyond bullshit," And then we would check each other, and I think, and I mean, we were pretty much tight for like over 5 years. We were just close and stuff, and did activities together, parties together, and all that good stuff. But we were
Mhm.
always checking each other. We would diss and disrespect each other, just bugging out because that's what guys do. But when it came to like female interaction, when it came to something that, it called for decorum and proper behavior, you know what I mean? We always checked each other on that, you know what I'm saying? And if somebody came from, let's say for example, my boy Trash has somebody else here on the outside of us five, the other four would be like, yeah, we'll bring him in because he's your boy, he's your man. But the minute we saw some fish, you're like, nah, fam, we ain't fucking with him. You could, he's your man, but we're not. You know what I'm saying? So there was always a lot of that stuff, checking each other when it came to friendships too. And that's why our friendships, were for a long, long time. And then obviously we became men. Some people moved, this, that, and the other, and everything. We lose connection. But for that time being, the high school years and the college years,
Mhm.
we were good, man. We were good clan, and we just did stuff together. Moms always with the respect to the moms and the dads and stuff like that. And unfortunately, some of them have passed on and stuff. But I remember chilling at my man Eddie's house. His dad used to play all the old school vinyl and stuff, and we'd be there playing football. What it was? Was it Super Nintendo? Or maybe it could have been like the first PlayStation, maybe, or PlayStation 2, maybe. And we would be in there rocking like from like 9 to like 4 in the morning, just there, just listening to vinyl and just playing. But it was always everybody in the family knew, all right, they were hanging out in Eddie's house, or they hanging out in Johnny's house, or they hanging out, wherever the hell we were hanging, Will's house or whatever. But everybody knew, yeah, they're cool. All five of them are together. They're good. You know what I'm saying? So it was always that level of respect. So I can't really make a connection with that, vibe of just not being cool, not being respectful, or just letting somebody slide with some shenanigans and stuff. I can't relate because we always put each other in check, you know?
I don't get it. And I don't know, maybe it's the level of closeness in certain relationships, but sometimes I just wish I was a fly on the wall because I want to see how certain people interact with one another when nobody else is around, kind of thing.
Right. And then
Like,
some people could put a facade,
mhm.
like they don't care, like, nah, fam, I don't care about that. And then they go home and they be like, yo, and then they spend the next 3 hours trying to dissect why they do X, Y, and Z. And I
Mhm.
know people like that because later on in life they'd be like, "Yo, man, I let this shit affect me so much when it was bullshit. I could have cut it off at any time."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But see, and like, that, and that's how I feel. I feel like if, for example, like with my second example, if I didn't tell my boy like, this is what you do all the time, then I feel like I would consider myself to be fake because I'm not letting them know, my thoughts on their behavior. And that's
Right.
how I feel like, certain people, you're not sharing certain things and it could be silly as hell, but you're still not telling your friend like this is what they're doing and it's wrong or it's weird.
Right.
I feel like that's fake. To me, I consider that a fake friendship. At
Yo, you
least
know
to
what?
an extent, like you could be cool, you could be, best friends, but there's a little hint of fake in there because of that.
Right.
To me, that's my opinion.
Right. No, you know what's funny? The thought that I just had in my head, right? Like we're delving into friendships and why they do this and why they do that, right? And if
Hmm.
you think about it, man, and your situation and what you're explaining is we put up with more BS with friendships than we do in relationships.
That's because we're single.
No, I'm just true. No, but no, what I'm saying, think about it though, right? In relationships, you quick to turn the page, whatever, or let them know how they doing or what they not doing to fulfill your needs or your thoughts or your whatever,
I could
right?
see
But
sense.
in friendships, it's like, yo, my man could be acting off the wall, and you're like, all right. But if that was your girl
Mm-hmm.
acting off the wall, you'd be like, nah, ma, you can't. You know what I'm saying? You disrespecting me out here, or whatever the case is. But
But
that what
maybe
you
because
thought I
the
had.
love is different. It's a different kind of love. It's a different kind of.
But you know
It's.
what? Love is love.
Mm.
The only thing you're taking out of the love is the sexual behavior, right? The connection. So like let's say for me and you, for example, obviously we've known each other for a while now, right? Let's say, 5 years from now we're still connected. Yeah, if somebody tells me, oh, you love Isha, yes, I love Aisha. She come on, she my peoples. Look at what we done, what we accomplished, right?
Yeah.
It's no different than oh, here comes Jane, and I love Jane. The only difference between Jane and Aisha is me and Jane hit the sack. Me and Aisha just have a connection of friendship, right? But that doesn't mean that's the only difference in love.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the sexual interaction. Everything else should be the same. It
Yeah,
should be the respect.
but it's a different type of love, is what
You
I'm
think
saying.
so?
I know so. Like I could say to my friends, I love you. I fucking love you. Like you're the best.
Right.
But I'm in, and it's a whole different type of love. Like
Right.
I'm in love with you. Like
Right.
it's
Because there,
you
but there's
can't
a, but I just think there's a passion and that sexuality that makes it different. Right? Because, like, for example, in Spanish is beautiful. That's why I like Spanish or Latin languages. I don't know Palestinian, so I don't know
Arabic.
how Arabic. I'm sorry. Well, shut up. I just said, all right, let me just say Palestinian because I don't want to mess it up. But like, for example, right? If you take a word I love you in English and I go, I love you. Okay, cool, cute, real cute. I like it, real cute. But in Spanish, if you go te amo, that's
It hit different.
that's right.
That's
That's
spicy.
different. Right. So that's what I mean. It's like, for example, in a relationship where there's that love of connection,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those words are going to mean more because there's passion. But if I go, yo, Ish, I love you, there's a lot of love and respect and admiration, but there is no passion and no sexuality. So, yeah, that's different, but it's still the same root. You know what I mean? That's
But
all
you
it
would
is.
also do different things for that individual than you
So,
would just done.
right, of course. But, like, for example, it'd be like, yo, I love you, Ish. All right, cool. But if I go, yo, Ish, I love you. Totally different, right?
Can't stand.
Like, yeah, yo, you know how we do. But nah, it's just one thought that I just had in my head that, you know what I mean? Like in friendships, we let some shit slide for a
Yeah,
long time, right? And in relationships, we quick to be like, nah, fam, you bugging. You gotta get out of here, right? It's
you're right.
crazy.
That
Bugged
is
out.
actually an interesting thought. And yeah, I'm sure I brought the thought before, but saying it out loud with somebody else, I just sit here and I'm like, I really do let these motherfuckers just slide. And if,
Right.
my man, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Quick
I just,
fast too, in a minute.
that's a good
Yeah.
point. But I
That's
feel with the comfortability, like with some of my friends, okay, yeah, I'm cool with my friends and stuff, but there are certain people where it's like, I'm not just gonna, like, you have to know how to say things, with your significant other. Yeah, you could say you have to know how to say things, but that's your partner, that's your significant other. Like, it don't matter. Just say it, spit it out, in my
right.
opinion.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. I don't know. That's just crazy. Friendships, they're so close to relationships, except for, to me, it's just those two ingredients of passion and sexuality. But everything is the same because I like, for example, like when my crew back in the days, yo, like there was love, man. Like, yo, how you? Like if I was sick, they was coming trooping to the house. Like, yo, you need chicken soup, my G? I got you. Like you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Which I remember, and I was like, damn, like especially my man Ed. I remember one time I was in a jam and I was in somewhere in the Bronx deep, and I was like, yo, if I get out this building, it's gonna be a wrap for me, right? Because they outside. So I'm like, fuck. And plus it wasn't my neighborhood anyway. So when you're on somebody else's block, you're like, damn, I'm done. And it was just a quick call, like, yo, Ed, yo, I'm in the jam. I got you, my G. And then next thing you know, 10 cats rolling up, and I'd come out the building and everything is nothing pops off, right?
Hmm.
But I guess I don't know. It's just weird. I just like today I
It's
just couldn't relate.
I'm Me and my friends are like, if I'm sick, what do you need? I got you. I'll drop it off. I'm like that. They're like that. Like we're like that with each other. We're mad cool. But sometimes some of them piss me the fuck off, and I'm sure I piss them off. But if I'm pissing you off, I want you to tell me. That's really it for me. Like I want you to let me know that or I'm odd and off.
Right. But I guess once again, it comes to that person. If that person is of that demeanor that's going to tell you, or not just be like, throw it up to the famous thing. Oh, that's Ish. Oh,
Hmm.
that's me. Or
I
that's
don't,
Timmy.
I don't want you to define me, under something, or classify me under a negative view or whatever the hell you want to call it. I
Right. But
don't
to
know about
every
my.
right to everybody, you're under something. Right. Unfortunately, it
Yeah,
is what it is. Right. So some people
but
might
if
be.
if you're close to me, I want you to tell
Mhm.
me. Fuck everyone else. I don't give about that anyone else's opinion. But if we're cool and we're like this, I want you to be okay with coming to me and being like, "Ish, what the fuck?"
Right.
You know?
But like who? But in reality, too, is who likes uncomfortable conversations? You know what I'm saying?
Nobody.
Right. So nobody likes uncomfortable conversations or pressure for that matter,
Hmm.
right? Because then they're like, oh nah, like you know what I'm saying? This is gonna be this, that, or the other. So I guess it's just all upon on the person.
Hmm.
Uh, obviously a person can love you in a friendship matter, can love you, but still be like, you know what, it's Ish or it's King, right? But it's just maybe that person hasn't had a breakthrough where they can express themselves. And once again, we say it could have been since they were little. They never
Hmm.
got that opportunity. Every time they express themselves, they probably heard from mom and dad, shut up, go to your room, go, you know what I mean? And when you
Hmm.
say things like that as a kid, when they grow up, that's what they're going to do, right? It's going to be shut up and they're not going to talk about their issues or what they feel about someone. And that's the thing that we do, you get that from your parents or whatever the case is, you know what I mean? There was many times that, when I told my daughters, yo, go to your room because I'm upset right now. Right. So, and then I'll go up there and I'll be like, damn, I know I fucked up. Right. So
Yeah.
I'll be like, listen, Papa's mad, you know what I mean? And he just needed time. And I should have, instead of me saying what I said, I should have said, you know what, give me some time. Let me reflect. Let me react. But sometimes emotions get in the way. So,
Hmm.
and it's just the way we communicate or treat our kids or whatever we want to do in that fashion. And, and the way we portray our communication, right? The way we want to put ourselves out there. And sometimes those people, like some of your friends, probably never had that. They've probably been told to,
And I get that. Like, you can't control me, I can't control you, but if it's worthwhile, let's talk about it.
let's talk about it. I always got to break out in the song. Yo, shout out to Taylor Swift, drop that new album,
I still got to give her a listen.
straight platinum plus. They're like I'm up to like 5 jams right now, golden.
Really?
Yeah, that's what made me reach out to you, like in a friendship manner. Like, yo, you listening to Swifty?
That's so
Yo,
great.
yo, I love it. I love it so much, man. Not for real, but yeah, no, that's just it, man. You're just friendships are like we've always. I think we touched in the past too. Like friendships are something that we put a lot of value into, right? And we all want to have that one ride or die that we can go to anything. And I think I have that in my friend. That we don't have to see each other, but I
Yep.
know if I need her, she'll be like, "Yo, Skate, I'm there," and vice versa. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And it's just sometimes, and the like, what I'm trying to say is the thin line between friendship and acquaintances.
Yeah.
And sometimes we mistake acquaintances for being friends, and they're just not. They're just acquaintances. It's just they've been
That
an
is,
acquaintance for 5+ years. You know what I'm
hmm.
saying? And they just ride with it. But hopefully, eventually, they'll open their eyes and realize they're like, yo, this is an acquaintance. This is not a ride or die. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And not that everybody should have a ride or die. Maybe they should. Maybe they shouldn't. Who knows? But you should have that one friend that you can.
That go to.
Yes, right, absolutely. And then have those friends that are just for fun and games, and
Hmm.
have some friends that are for deep thought and knowledge. And those that most likely will be if you pass away, hopefully not for many years, but they'll be there, you know, reminiscing and thinking about you in a positive manner. That's pretty
Hmm.
much it, though, I guess.
Yeah. We definitely have to categorize them accordingly.
Yeah. So basically, what you want to do is write all your friends down,
Be
and
like,
then
"Look here, belong here."
yeah, feel like I remember back in 2020, yeah, you fucked up. You never checked up on me. You wasn't in that house party when I was sending out those invites. Yo, you know what's funny now? That will put some light into this episode, but I remember those house parties, man. You used to get a notification. Yo, everybody would jump on it so quick.
What do you mean a notification?
Like, so a lot of people leave their laptops on or whatever the case is, or if not,
Oh,
they
like,
have, yeah, like, or you download the house party app. So let's say I was on, and so you see Skane's on or whatever, Oscar, whatever. And yo, people will, bang, 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 yo, what you doing? Yo, and it was just to have that communication. And then you see people here having full dinners. I had people playing video games or watching TV, and And then you would just sit there and you'd be like, yo, what you watching? I'm like, yeah, I'm watching this show. And whenever you want to pause that show, no, I could do both. You know what I mean? Because just people were starving for communication.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those those games used to be fun. The Hangman, the drawing one was awesome, where you would just draw and try to guess.
Such ass drawings on that. That was horrible.
Because that was a whole
And
episode right there.
FYI, when you said house party, the first time around in the first half, I understood. But when you mentioned it again right now, I thought you meant a literal house party. That's why I said AIM. I thought you was
Oh
talking about back in the 90s.
no. Yo, back in the 90s, it was crazy. I saw this post. Dude posted, he was like, yo, when I think 30 years ago, I think 1970, right? Which is what I think. But now that
Yeah.
shit's the 90s, my G. Like, you wildin'.
Yeah, that's
Like,
crazy.
it's funny. Like, we had a conversation and when we stopped, yeah, it was 10 years ago, right? And I'm thinking, damn, but that shit feels like it was yesterday. But yeah, it was 10 years ago. And now that
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking in the 90s and stuff like that, yo, that's 30 years ago. That's
Wow.
crazy. That is absolutely wild. Yeah. So this was a fun topic because this was more of a conversation. This video stuff is absolutely cool. I just got to get used to it. See, I got to put the little arrow in here so I can look at the camera. Because the whole time I've been staring at you or looking at me, but never making eye contact like I am now.
Guidance.
Say it again.
I said you're so annoying with this camera guidance.
Yo, I'm swearing because like right now is a little green light with the little camera. All right, I get you, but it's like I'm looking at it now. I'm staring at it, and it's cool because now it looks like we're having eye to eye conversation. Here, I'm
See,
just looking at myself, and I'm looking at you. Nah, but it's something we're just gonna have to get used to. Bring you guys more videos of us just what we do and stuff like that. How much we have fun. You know what I mean? I'm not in Treetop Studios, so the boy is not sweating. He good.
Bumping. You don't see me in this hoodie?
Oh, see now you want to bump it, but when I'm there, I'm like, yo,
Not-
ish, I need a break.
We need AC today. It's hot out there.
Nah, it was. It's been super hot and humid and stuff. So disgusting weather. But yeah, Ish, man, this has been absolutely cool to be here with you. You're there, I'm here, but we're still doing it. So hopefully our audience gets to enjoy us just goofing off, see all the facial expressions that they don't get to see when we're just audio. So this is something new. Hopefully you guys like it. We're going to do some more of this and we'll go from there. I believe we can do this together too. There's a feature that we can, like if we're in the same room, we can do it together and record. So this is pretty awesome. So I'm super excited. Yeah, my girl. So let's hit him with the final words if you have any, and then hit him with the jam.
I'm just going to dive right into the gem.
Okay.
Good friends tell the truth, not to hurt, but to help. Be grateful for them.
That's beautiful. And that's the way it should be, right? Just the truth. Say what you say, how you feel. And and honestly, if they don't like what you say, I mean, it's time that could be a little check to say, you know what, maybe I need to reevaluate this friendship like we tend to do when, you know, our partners don't agree, right? We want to, all right, let me swipe left. Let me swipe. Look for the next one. Nah, I'm just kidding, y'all. I'm kidding. But nah, for real. You just have the same standards that you have for your, you know, potential spouse or whatever the case is, or your boyfriend, girlfriend, and your friendship should be the same. There should be no difference between them, and hold them accountable.
Yes, sir.
Sounds good, Ish?
Sounds good, my guy.
All right, Ish. So, guys, we'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much for joining us on this video journey that we're doing. And of course, if you're listening through damn, we getting big out here, Ish. Spotify, Amazon Music.
Did you see we're listening to Saudi Arabia?
Yo, you hit me up with that, yo.
Didn't even expect that.
Yo, next Dubai is next. You heard? We're on Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio. So we're getting there. So more platforms to come. But for right now, those are the ones that we are on. Thank you so much. Like I said, I enjoyed talking to this young lady as much as possible. Thank you, and I'll make it public for her. Thank you for coming out to that Red Bulls game with the boy. So
Thank
it
you
was
for
awesome.
inviting.
Of course. Guys, take care and we'll see you next week. Take care. Peace.
Peace.
Talking at Ish and Skeen.
Show you right.